Hey guys, Uncle Ray. Welcome to another episode of the Crypto Bellwether. Today we're going to be talking about Vechain. Now this video is going to be a little different than most of my other ones. I'm going to give you the pros and cons. I like to be non-biased. What I do is I go down the rabbit hole and I get all the information I can to make an informed decision. That's the information I'm going to give you guys. Now at the end, you'll have that information. I will give you my thoughts, and I'm actually going to grade Vechain, and we'll also take a look at the charts. Now, before we get into that, please hit that like button. We're trying to grow this community, and that really helps us out a lot. We want you to be part of it, so subscribe, match the notifications so you don't miss any of these videos. And at the end, let me know what you think about Vechain or anything else you might be stacking during this recession. And also tell me what you think about the format, and if you want to see more of this type layout, and let me know what you think about the grade. Now let's get into it. Basically, if you're not familiar with Vechain, Vechain's vision is to empower smart contract access to data in the most secure, permissionless, and tamper-proof manner. And you'll understand more as we go what it does. Now, let's start with the pros. The first thing is the founder and the team of Vechain is some of the best in the world. They are the who's who in the blockchain community. Now, they have created a very unique, disruptive technology, and they have the first mover advantage. They are so dominant that they are 13x bigger than their next competitor. Now, this market is massive. It is absolutely wide open. If you know and understand what NFTs and smart contracts are and how that's going to play out in the future, you'll understand that they're going to be in the gaming, gambling, medical, real estate, court records, passports, pretty much everything in the world is going to end up being tied to a smart contract in an NFT form. Now, I'm going to give you an example. I'm not getting political about ESG because I'm not into it, and I hope it never comes to pass. But they're using it right now to try to control people. So I'm just going to give you an example. If the world governments come together and say, hey, we want to monitor people's carbon footprints. Now, they could do that in a lot of different ways. They could tie it to your taxes, tie it to your credit card, tie it to a CDBC. There's a lot, just a passport, your driver's license. They could do that in a lot of ways. But literally, the odds are, if that ever comes to pass, which there's a large group trying to make that happen, they would probably go to Vechain. But that's the type of data tracking and data protocol that they have. So just that one thing, guys, that would be everyone around the world. Think about just that project alone, how massive it would be. And that's just one example of many. Now, their customers, due to how complex it is and the trust that you need to have and how hard it is to set it up, and it's pretty much customized to every single customer, most of their customers are going to last a long time. If not, they'll be lifelong customers. That's extremely positive. Now, they have huge global partnerships and customers around the world. It's massive. Now, I want you to think about how heavily vetted they have to be to have relationships with the government. They have one with Google Cloud. Think about how Google had to vet them because of all that trusted data that they have inside the Google Cloud. They're not only worried about their reputation, they're obviously worried about the reputation of Vechain. Now, I have a relationship and a partnership with PayPal, Visa, Swift, the New York Stock Exchange. Guys, in the future, I don't know how long it's going to take, every stock will be an NFT, and it will need to be tracked that smart contract will be need to be tracked with someone like Vechain, and it probably would be Vechain. Now, they have a massive war chest to fund their ecosystem. So they are constantly bringing on developers and different projects and customizing them, and they have the money to build out their ecosystem. Now, they have a strong social media presence not only in America but around the world, globally. Now, this is the techie side of it. The oracles are decentralized, trustless, across off-chain and cross-chain data, secure and reliable. So basically, it's trustless. It is like a cocoon. Once they have that data in there, it's not like you technically have access to it. It's decentralized, trustless. That is basically their proposition, and that's where they shine. Now, the tokenomics. It's fixed 1 billion tokens. However, they have a 2-token system, which is very unique. And they did that to keep pressure on the main token, but to also keep the gas fee token somewhat consistent. Now, let's talk about that. Basically, you have to buy VET to pay your gas fees, and when you buy the VET to pay the gas fees, it turns that token into the VTHO token. Now, the VET holders, basically, it's like having an annuity. If you just own VeChain, while it's sitting in your wallet, you're actually accumulating the gas fee token VTHO. Now, the oracles have to buy VET to put up to secure their reliability of the network. That's extremely positive because there's a penalty mechanism for them to be basically perfect in their data. So it is a very secure project. However, it puts pressure on the token right out of the gate because the oracles have to put up money, VET token, to show that they're serious about how secure they're going to be. Now, they have to also acquire VET to collateralize just being an operator. So both those together put a lot of upward pressure on the token constantly. Love that. Now, here's what I like the most, which is kind of the same thing, but all of the customers have to go into the market to acquire the VeChain token VET to pay their gas fees or to set up an account or to do anything. They have to go into the free market to buy the token. And then that token is converted into VTHO for the gas fees. It's extremely positive. Now, I don't want to harp on like XRP, but you should watch my XRP video I'll put it down in the playlist. One thing I question about XRP, for an example, is you don't have to own XRP to use the blockchain, the XRP ledger, because Ripple will basically loan you their tokens out of their fund. I don't like that. If it was set up like VeChain, in my opinion, XRP would be the world beater that most people think it's going to be. Anyway, it's suspect to me, and I don't want to get off on a tangent, but I can't stress enough how much I love this 2-token system. And in my opinion, no matter what, VeChain is set up for the token owners to win, because if VeChain takes off, the token is going to reflect that. And I absolutely love it. All right, Now, let's get into the cons. The cons are it's very centralized as far as the token distribution. Roughly 65% of all uncirculated supply is owned by just a handful of wallets. I don't like that, guys. They could dump at any given time. So if you get a huge pump, for whatever it's worth, you might want to consider taking those profits, because we don't know what those handful of people are going to do, those whales, but the odds are they're going to dump, at least consistently put pressure on the token over time. That's just something to watch for whatever that's worth. Now, this is kind of probably 5-10 years in the future, but I want to give you the good, bad, and the ugly. There's two things that could change the way the tokens work and in the future, the gas fees and the pressure on the VET token. Basically, a lot of the competitors are probably going to come out with more of a subscription model where you just pay one monthly fees, and corporations love that because they can budget for it. And then the other thing is, if VeChain takes off like a lot of people, including myself, think it's going to, fast forward 5-10 years from now, VeChain could be worth so much that the gas fees are way too high and no one wants to sell. So you might have to change that structure. Quite frankly, that's just way out there for me. That's not a big concern because we will have made so much money by then. We'll be good. That's just my opinion, not financial advice. Now, there's two things that are pretty negative that I need to share with you. And now most blockchains have to worry about this first one, and that's just the SEC lawsuit and regulations of what's coming down the pipe. We don't know. But this one in particular, Zeus Capital has tried to sue VeChain, claiming that they are a security. So they basically notified the regulators and wanted the regulators to do something about it so they could literally sue them. However, that hasn't transpired yet, and the positive side is they're not here in America, so that helps out a lot for whatever that's worth. Now, this, in my opinion, is the most negative thing for whatever it's worth, and I'm not getting political, but it's something everyone needs to consider if you're looking to lock a lot of money up for a long time in this political global environment. And what am I talking about? I don't know if you're familiar with the Belt and Road Blockchain Alliance. However, I'm going to introduce you to it. VeChain is a co-founder of the Belt and Road Initiative Blockchain Alliance. Now, what is that? Well, it's not positive in this political environment. It's basically the BRI is a global development strategy adopted by the Chinese government, involving 136 countries and more than 30 international organizations. On one side, it's extremely positive. It just shows you the reach of VeChain and the power and how connected they are. The downside is all that data is literally might be controlled by the Chinese government. A lot of people are going to suggest that VeChain is in bed with the Chinese government, and it would be hard to argue that. Now, the reason I bring it up, and I really think it's important, is if you go back to our previous president, we don't need to mention who that is, he had a big issue with just TikTok and the cellular phone that they banned from being in America because of the data. So I could see in the future, especially on a political debate or they politicize everything, VJ could get caught in the middle of that. So that's just something to think about for whatever that's worth. Now, let's get into some really good stuff. Now, remember, this is not financial advice, but guys, this is exciting, so stay with me. Let's look at the chart. Now, at first glance, a lot of people are going to hate this. Look at where this thing was trading. It was right up under $7, 4 years ago. And it went up and down and sideways, but basically down. And that didn't take that long. That's when it first came out. If you look at this, it's been trading like around 3 cents or less for the last 2 years, guys. However, let's take a look at something. Look what it's done in the last 30 days, the last 7 days. Look at this, the last 24 hours. Now, I want you to think about something, guys. This thing has been trading 3 cents and below for a year or more than a year. So if you've been stacking that, right, even if you started stacking it a week ago, that's a 10x like that, guys. A 10x just in the last couple of weeks. So, or actually, it's been, last month. So in a month, you just got a 10x. $1,000, 30 grand. That's a lot of money, guys. Now, here's the best part of this, so bear with me. But let's just say that all this is working out, because I like it. I really do. I'm going to stack it for whatever that's worth. Already stacking it. But now let's look at something. Because I know everything's risky, guys. Everything is risky. But here's what you want. What is it that we want? We want a good team. That's hugely important. We want the resources to make it happen in the partnerships. They have both those, right? They have the money behind them and real world utility. Guys, it's got everything you need for a huge long-term growth and a huge pump. Now, what am I getting at? If you've been stacking it for the last year or so at 3 cents, you just call it a 10x. Boom, like less than a month, right? But now I want you to look. Why would it not in the next bull run or in the next couple of years when blockchain and the CBDCs all come, the banking reset, all that happens, and they start turning the stock exchange into NFTs, the ESG type stuff comes out, whatever. Why would it not take out in the next, say, just 2 or 3 years? Even if it took 5 years, why would it not take out this old high right here, guys? Why would it not take out that $7? Bear with me. If it takes out that $7 right there from 3 cents, that is 235x. 235x, guys. Think about that. So for whatever that's worth, that's a pretty good upside. So it checks the boxes as far as what I like to see. Like I said, the only downside, in my opinion, is the centralization and the issue with China. I don't like that. I wish that wasn't there. Now, that being said, that's why I rated it a B+. If it was more centralized and spread out where not 1 or 2 or 3 entities could dump on any future pumps, it would definitely be an A, maybe not an A+. But now if it was not centralized and it was based or had nothing to do with the Chinese government or couldn't be linked with them at all, it would probably be one of the very top rankings I could give it, which would be an A+. Either way, guys, that's my opinion. But if anything else, to me, I'm not looking to buy it after this pump right now. I expect it for whatever it's worth. I expect everything We're going into a recession. I expect it to go back under 5 cents. And when it gets under 5 cents, in my opinion, get to stacking. That's going to be my plan. This is not financial advice. Only put in what you can afford to lose. But guys, if you stack Vechain, throughout this recession at 3 cents, I 2, 3, 4, 5 years, if there's no political issues come out or any crazy regulations, this thing's going to be a world beater. And it's going to reflect in the coin. That's what I like about it. So anyway, guys, that's all I got. Let me know what you think about Vechain, what you think about this pros and cons approach, what you think about the ratings, and tell me what you're stacking during this recession. Just give me your thoughts. Make sure you subscribe. We really want you to be part of this community, guys. Hit that like button. That helps us out a lot. And come back. Take care.